Hi, class. As we've learned, there are many populations within the United States that are particularly vulnerable to becoming victims of human trafficking. Though all are worthy of our time and attention, today I'd like to focus on what we can do to better protect just one of these populations: unaccompanied alien children. Children, who color with crayons and are still trying to master bubble letters. Unaccompanied alien children, sometimes referred to as unaccompanied children or unaccompanied minors, are children who have no lawful immigration status in the United States, have not attained 18 years of age, and who have no parent or legal guardian in the United States or no parent or legal guardian in the United States who is available to provide care and physical custody. And over the past decade, the number of these children coming into the country has risen remarkably. Human traffickers target these children for many of the same reasons they target adults who arrive in the country illegally. Many don't have a firm grasp of the United States legal system, culture, or dominant language. The lack of employment opportunities for undocumented immigrants, combined with the debt they may have accrued in getting to the United States, means they struggle with poverty. Finally, their lack of legal status means they don't have the same protections under the law that legal citizens and residents do. Unaccompanied minors have the additional risk factors of being under 18 and having no parent or legal guardian looking out for them. Thankfully, the United States has many laws, policies, and organizations in place to protect these children. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, and its Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, working under the guidelines outlined in the Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act and the Flores Consent Decree, work to guarantee that unaccompanied minors are treated with the dignity and respect they deserve while in custody, and that they are released in a timely manner to appropriate adult custodians. Sounds great, right? And in theory, it is. However, sometimes things go wrong, and in 2014, we discovered that things had gone wrong. Very wrong. 8 unaccompanied minors were found in squalid trailers at Trillium Farms, an egg producer in Marion, Ohio. According to one Washington Post report, the boys were forced to work under threat of death, grueling hours for almost no pay. So what happened? In the words of Senator Rob Portman, HHS delivered the Marion children into the hands of a human trafficking ring. According to ORR, it places unaccompanied minors with adults into the following categories in order of preference. Category 1, parents or legal guardians. Category 2, an immediate adult relative. Category 3, other sponsors such as distant relatives and other adult individuals. These boys in the Marion case were released to Category 3 sponsors who turned out to be human traffickers. So where did ORR drop the ball? Legally, they did everything they were required to do, but they failed to take some of the common sense steps that could have prevented this and other instances of unaccompanied minors being released to human traffickers. As of 2014, the following were all deemed acceptable practices for the ORR when releasing unaccompanied minors to Category 3 sponsors. Prior to a child's placement, there were no specific requirements for confirming a child's biological or social relationship, if any, to their sponsor, conducting interviews or home visits with sponsors, conducting background checks on other adults in the home, verifying the number of children adults attempted to sponsor, or confirming that adult sponsors were financially able to care for the child. After a child's placement with a Category 3 sponsor, there were no specific requirements for conducting home studies or providing post-release services. Had any of these common sense measures been in place, ORR officials and social workers could have prevented the release of the boys in Marion, and who knows how many other children, into the hands of human traffickers. Since 2014, ORR has made some significant changes in their policy operations to keep unaccompanied minors safe from human traffickers. They have increased staff, established a helpline that anyone with concerns about a child's placement can call, required home visits to all Category 3 sponsors of children 12 and under, increased discretionary home visits for children over 12, required post-release services for all children placed with Category 3 sponsors, attempted to check in via phone with all Category 3 sponsors and children within 30 days of a child's placement, and conducted background checks on all people in a Category 3 sponsor's home. These efforts are admirable and have surely saved some unaccompanied minors from being placed with human traffickers. However, unaccompanied minors are still at risk. Human traffickers are still able to skirt these safeguards because there are no required home visits for unaccompanied minors over 12, who are more likely to be targeted for labor trafficking than their younger counterparts. Neither HHS nor ORR notify state or local governments when an unaccompanied minor is released into those communities. And as of 2017, only 32% of unaccompanied minors actually receive the required post-release services. And perhaps even more concerning than these shortcomings is the fact that even though they were ordered to do so by Congress all the way back in 2008, DHS has still not created, maintained, and published specific guidelines to protect unaccompanied minors from human trafficking. In fact, still today, HHS and ORR claim that after a child is placed with a Category 3 sponsor, they are no longer responsible for the health, safety, or well-being of the child. As a nation, we have to do better. We have to take steps that will guarantee no more unaccompanied minors will be released to human traffickers. We need better collaboration with local governments, schools, and law enforcement. We need more judges so that each unaccompanied minor's case gets the time and attention it deserves. We need HHS and ORR to continue to improve their screening and placement procedures. But most of all, we need to increase the involvement of social workers. In addition to knowing how to connect children with necessary services such as medical and mental health care, social workers are the ones who are best suited to serve as case managers who conduct home studies, sponsor interviews, and child welfare check-ins, both before and after children are placed with sponsors. Social workers are trained to recognize signs of human trafficking that government officials may miss. This issue is too important to trust to anyone less qualified. As Americans, it's our responsibility to continue to put pressure on elected officials, HHS, and ORR to step up their efforts to protect these children from human trafficking. Thank you for your time, and I hope what you've learned today has helped arm you in your fight against human trafficking.